Hello, everybody, again, and welcome to my channel. Well, as you can see, I'm recording a very quick video today. I am enjoying myself very much. I am presenting myself to you once again, and well, I'd like to say that there's a lot of things going on right now. Um, Late last week or during the middle of last week, we've went down to a fourth dimension level, a very early fourth dimensional level. There was the frequency went down to a very low fourth dimensional frequency. So it's safe to say that most, if not all, are in the fourth dimensional, very low frequency. Now, I'm not going to make any statements of facts or anything like that, but regarding frequency and dimensions, I believe there are 11 steps or 11 ladders to each frequency. Fourth dimension, you know, for 1, 2, 3, 4 through 11, and then it switches to the fifth dimension 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just want to say right off the bat, um, everything flows. It has energy to it. Everything has a vibration, a frequency. Everything resonates, right? Everything has a mm, not a pattern, but a a sort of a frequency, right? A motion to it. I don't think there's any other specific words I can use to um, describe that other than it has a frequency. So we're at 4.1, and hmm, a lot of the energy that was used for 4.1 is related to the upbringing of the energy of bringing up the frequency of humanity. So in my last video, if you guys saw my video, a lot of us are here to raise the frequency of the planet. So the frequency of the planet, it's going up. The frequency of the planet is rising, and then we're just kind of dredging along the very deep shallows of the third dimension, and then just bringing up a lot of these things to the surface. So you have a personal growth. You have pretty much a coming to an awareness event. You'll have an aha moment for yourself. You'll have a recollection of a very minimal understanding of your purpose and existence on this planet at this time. Okay? You'll go through um, you'll go through a change of heart. You'll go through a you'll go through a specific change. You'll become aware of your surroundings in a different way. The space around you is going to change. I'll give you an example of what I went through before, and it was very interesting that I had this experience at I think it was at New Year's. We don't know when New Year is. What happened at that specific New Year was that, and I don't mean January, I mean December New Year. So it's a different kind of experience. Not talking about the holidays specifically, but during New Year's there was a specific event that occurred in my life, and just to say it this way, to get to the point, Not trying to drag this along. I'm trying to get the right feeling so I can express the right words for you. There's, I specifically had a question to my higher self and to those higher beings, and I said, you know, I want to know how it feels just to be a regular, normal human being. I said to them, I said, how does it feel to be a regular person? Or how would it feel to not have any type of ability or any type of intuitive awareness? And they turned it off, all of it. And it was quite strange because there, it, it's very difficult to explain it because you have to experience it for yourself, but you will be experiencing soon. But right now, when I'm speaking at the camera, I feel that I'm speaking to you. I can relate in a certain way. For example, um, everything has its own frequency, so you'll be able to communicate with apparent inanimate objects like a book. Um, it's um, it's very unique, but since they've turned it off and they gradually then just reinstated all these intuitive abilities, I felt the difference immediately. And it's not apparent to anyone that can't feel it. The point is, it won't be apparent to anyone that can't understand that kind of energy for themselves because they just won't have it. Me not experiencing made me understand that if someone were nearby that came up to me and had a normal conversation, I wouldn't have been able to know if this person was intuitive or not because I myself wasn't intuitive or not to resonate at that same frequency with them. So, understandably so, your frequency is going to increase to the point where now you will be able to intuitively communicate in completely different ways with your environment. If that puts it in a very concise sentence. Now, we live in a, and I wanted to say this, and I was trying to figure out when's the right time to communicate this. Okay, so as above, so below. Same kind of issues we have here are just a microcosm of the macrocosm outside this universe that we can experience out there, where certain minor differences, positively better differences than what we have here. As I said before, we're at the bottom of the barrel with the kind of depth that we can experience this 3D Earth human experience that we've had in the past couple of 100 years. Okay, I think that puts it into context as well. Let me see. Okay, right? So you've got that, all right? The next thing is very simple. We've we're participating as a group in raising the vibrations of Earth. So we may not be of the same race, but we share the same principles. We may not be of the same, let's see, what's the word? How can I put this? There's the to better understand this, the way that this is structured here for this negative experience that we're so-called negative at some point is a different kind of level of experience that you'll get. But the experience and the circumstances that led us to go about the process of growing or expanding the consciousness of humanity has led us to incarnate accurately, correctly, and with the most perfect amount of impact to create the change. So we know who we are, and we don't necessarily plan for failure. We plan for success in anything. So in the scenarios that we've all incarnated, maybe your family is different than you are, and you happen to be in Morocco, and you resonate and connect with someone in a very strong level with some whatever Scandinavian uh, Facebook group or something like that. As an example, the sparsity of the soul family is wide and made to have the best impact on growing the consciousness of this planet. So when you're born in this planet Earth, and you're born during those circumstances that you are that's placed upon you, then you're you are where you need to be at this moment in time. Okay, so let's see what's the next thing I have to answer. Oh, okay. So the person you're looking for, John G. Jones, he's incarnated in Brazil. Now, the way I see the map, I'm seeing the map as if I'm staring right at a map of Earth. It's flat map, and we know where Brazil is. The heart and center soul of Brazil, right? Let's put a square right at the center of Brazil. Okay, and in this corner, and then a little further away this way here, that's where he is. He's right there. He's been to he's been to the capital, Sao Paulo, I think it's called. He's been there, but he doesn't live there. He lives he's back and forth. I want to say he's like a merchant. Maybe he has businesses, or he maybe purchases raw materials to then um, distribute out to where he lives. So he might own a business. Let's see what else. Hmm. Yeah. He's aware. He knows there's something about him. He knows. He he's in, because if you're born in a certain type of community in a certain part of the planet, Australia or whatever, you your soul is one thing, but then your genetic shell, like this one for example, holds a lot of the um, DNA um, memory. They call it cell memory. It holds a lot of that cell memory. So you feel out of place. You know how to conduct yourself among the where you're born, but you always would know. There's a little extra here that I'm not quite getting, and a lot of people just go along with it. A lot of people just go along with that kind of thing, but he knows a little bit of it. You know, he gets it. I hope that answered your question there. Let's see. Nope, I think that's fine for now. I definitely had to put this video out. Specifically, those two questions that were asked. Um, I'm gonna bring up minor things that my mind just flows into these kind of thoughts every once in a while, and I'm gonna put them out there so that I'm not totally thinking about them. The information is put out, and we'll just get rid of this problem that we have right here. In other words, outside of the universe, there's at least within the circumference of the planet that's called the outer space here, the planet quarantine, and then it varies. I want to put it at maybe like 85% of those that are watching the show here. You're watching the show of Ascension. A lot of watching for learning. They want to learn. A lot of them are just observing, and maybe like 5% are actively participating. But I want to address the ones that you think that are there and you don't can't figure out why they're around, which is then maybe 85% of them are interested in one way or another. So what these 80% are looking for themselves to do is observe how we get rid of the darkness that we have on this planet, so that they can document and keep track of um, how to get rid of it when it happens to land on their universe or wherever they come from, because they're not from this galaxy. So they're watching to see how we're doing this, so that in case that they come across this sort of presence, right, reptilian presence, then they know how to conduct themselves on their own home galaxy or universe if they should ever come around to their universe. So they're taking notes. Oh, they're taking notes. Whatever, in whichever way you can think of someone taking notes for that kind of purpose, then that's 80% of what they're doing. But only maybe like 5 to 3% actively doing the eliminating, or they might be patrolling around to make sure that nothing interferes with this in case somebody wants to call home and pick me up. You want to call an Uber, like, we need to get out of here. Well, there are no Ubers around here. Anyway, so the other thing is the Andromedans are asking about the keys, and how are we going to acquire those keys. So it has to first completely end before we can unpack what happened and then put it together again. And I'm not going to say how that goes together, but I know how it goes together to an extent. I know how it goes together. And yeah, so they're going to put it together, and once they put this together, they'll be working with this energy to make it a process for us, so that we can move forward. Okay, so this goes back to a lot of the previous videos, and I have a ton of videos there. I'm completely disorganized. I don't keep any of this stuff on track for myself. But if you do, then there's a video. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to reorganize myself a whole lot here. I don't mind telling you this. It's okay. But we've been asked, and this is the collective group that manages this solar system. And I'm saying we to make it easy to express myself. I hate having to pick out one galactic society or one group of human beings over another. So I'm going to speak in a very broad spectrum here. In order to complete, or in order to continue with a very good ascension process as we move forward as a society, and the Andromedans and the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and all the races do go through these processes themselves, they need to know how to go about the process of an ascension. Now, since this specific planet, or this specific anomaly that we have, where we have a very aggressive race, bullying the others, certain aspects of the process in order to continue or to manage an ascension have to be modified to accommodate this sort of interference. So going forward, this will be the process is going to be used to increase the energy of a collective or a planet or a galaxy. I'm really painting a broad picture by saying galaxy, for us to continue or improve the ascension process for the solar system. Okay? For the solar system. All right. So the Andromedans are saying, well, we don't have those keys yet. We don't have the structure to start. It's not going to be completed until this is actually done and we can put it together so that it works. And it's a completely safe process. Even though I'm speaking to you about something that seems complex, or someone may be interested in learning how to, jump the hoop, cheat the system. At this level, I can freely speak about the things that I feel are important enough to say, and I'll definitely keep you posted on the things that I won't be able to say anytime you don't see me putting a video out. Yeah. So that part. That's okay. That's been taken care of. That's not a problem. All right. So they were worried about, hey, when are we gonna have these things so we can go out about our business? Hey, when are we gonna have this brand new toy so we can start playing with it? Right? When can we start doing these things? There's definitely a interesting concept that's going on here, but the matter of the fact is the fourth dimension has to be fixed. And here I go again, we have been asked, and I think I mean everybody, have been asked to place the rules and the regulations on a fourth dimensional level. Okay? So if someone's playing a game and there are two players, there's usually a referee or some kind of mechanism that structures it so that the game is played correctly. And we need rules for fourth dimensional existence. We've been asked about it because I spoke early on in the video about frequency and resonance and everything that forms the construct of our reality. Here, I'm going to finish off the video by saying that we can go up and down in dimensions, up and down in dimension. Nothing is static. Nothing stays the same forever. And if it looks like it's the same, it's usually very much not the same. It's a way of completing the requests that we've been asked for, so that we can that's right. Actually, I agree with you on that. So that we can fix the fourth dimensional. When you pray and you ask God, please help me, you're going to get an answer. When the Pleiadians came to Earth and saw this mess, they immediately called up on their creators and they said, hey, can you help us? So in whichever way that this is structured here, whichever family you think that you were born into, and however much strange the situation is, it is structured in a way by the referee so that the game can be played correctly and that the desired outcome of all, freedom and the pursuit of happiness, is achieved. So if you think that everything is a mess, it's a very controlled mess. So I'll leave you all with that. You have a great rest of your morning, and I'll come up soon with another video when there's more questions. And definitely keep asking your questions. I love you all, and have a good rest of your day.